right, it is time for the 2024-2025 First Alert Winter Forecast. So let's jump right in, start off with ocean temperatures, because this is going to determine whether or not we're going to be seeing an El Nino year or a La Nina year. And as of right now, the equatorial line here is that blue shade. That means below average sea surface temperatures. So we're starting to see some weak cooling at the equatorial line. This was supposed to be much stronger by now, according to the forecast earlier this year. So like basically in the summer months, the Climate Prediction Center was thinking we were going to be entering into a pretty strong La Nina by about this time. But it's moving a little bit slower than what was forecast before, and so that will have some implications. So I know these numbers look a little confusing, but all that I want you to take out of this is the red numbers mean El Nino periods, the blue numbers mean La Nina periods, and so we go back in years here from 2020 to 2024, and then these are the winter months that we're kind of looking at back here. And so we did have a three-peat, 3 years in a row of La Nina conditions. Last year, though, we had an El Nino year, and a pretty strong El Nino year at that. Right now, we're kind of in this neutral phase, but we are trending more and more towards the La Nina type scenario here. Back in 2022-2023, we set a record, the most snow we've ever seen in Duluth, 140 inches. Last year, with that El Nino, we saw the second lowest snowfall since 1950. The average snowfall for Duluth, the 30-year average, is 90.2 inches. This is a map that shows how much snow we saw last year, well below normal. But with an open Lake Superior, we did still see quite a bit of snow in areas up the North Shore, the Bayfield Peninsula, and along the South Shore. So that's something that we have to factor in there, is what's Lake Superior going to be like? So how strong will the La Nina be? As of right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing a very strong La Nina, and that poses some problems because the La Nina years tend to have a lot more variability. They're warmer, they're colder, more snow, less snow. It's kind of all over the board when we look back at past data. But one thing that I do think that we will see is a pretty open Lake Superior yet again this year. And so that does mean that I do think that we'll see a better chance of above average snowfall for areas around the lake. So this is kind of the snow outlook, the highest likelihood of what I think will happen here. And the highest chance of above average snowfall up the North Shore, Bayfield Peninsula, and along the South Shore. I think that we will likely see above average snowfall in much of northeast Minnesota and northern Wisconsin, and about equal chances of further west and south you head. So the overall forecast I'm going with, 85 to 100 inches, right around average, maybe a little bit more average for snowfall, and I do think we'll see above normal temperatures. However, it does look like Canada might be a little bit colder this year, which means we might get a better chance of some stronger Arctic outbreaks. And so it's still going to be winter. It's still going to get cold. We could have a couple of weeks where temperatures struggle to make it above zero still, especially January into February. So that's the winter forecast I have for you guys for